Coach. Esmeralda, Natalie, thank you very much for your time. Coach, if we could open up with an opening statement from you, please.
Well, all the credit goes to Ohio State. They came out of that third quarter, really jumped on us super fast, and it was like a blink of the eye. Their pressure is great. They're super fast, and want to wish them the best. They had a great game.
Thank you. Folks who have questions, raise their hand. We'll get you the microphone. And if we could direct the questions, first of all, to the student athletes, then once they're done, we'll dismiss them to their locker room.
Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports, for both of you. How do you kind of put in towards this atmosphere and playing on the road in this first round and the home court advantage Ohio State had?
You want me to go? It was great. It felt like March Madness. It just felt great. I love the energy, especially when they were booing us. I think that's what I love. It kind of just gets me going. But they have a great fan base here.
I'm going to go off of Esme. I do really love when a team has a good fan base. I think it's fun, and even if they're cheering for the other team, it keeps us in the game too. And we had a very good fan base here also, and it was great.
Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. And Natalie, maybe to build off that, what got into you in the second quarter, and how does it feel to kind of go to the free throw line under the circumstances in which you did?
Yeah, well, I grew up watching basketball and like everybody going into those tough games in March Madness, and I think it was just fun hearing them booing me as I was at that line. I think it kind of motivated me to make those two baskets. It was just awesome. I loved it. I loved seeing them like all wave their hands all around, and it was fun. That was a fun second quarter.
Victor Flores, 406 Empty Sports. For both of you, what was so key to staying in the game and having a couple of those leads in the first quarter and a half?
Momentum, I think, and then scoring. When we scored the bucket and we had the momentum and the energy, you can kind of feel it. But I think the biggest thing was like we didn't really take care of the ball, including myself. I should have done better. But the momentum, you could just feel it. And then we had a great fan base, like Nat was saying. Like it was great to have them here and to travel to Columbus, Ohio. But the biggest thing was just playing us and doing us, and you could see it in the first half.
Yeah, the first half was fun. I think we just had fun, and we were just playing like nobody was watching. It was great. And we just go off of each other, and I think once one person gets momentum, everybody gets momentum. It was a lot of fun.
Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports, for Esme. You got the most out of a year, I feel like an athlete could have in 1 year with Montana State, and Bobcat Nation absolutely took you in as well. What have you appreciated most about this journey and now as your time wraps up with Montana State?
Just welcoming me. The biggest thing, I just felt like family here. And then just because when you're playing against a community like this, you just don't really get the sense of it. But being part of the family, it's like, wow, like it's amazing. Yeah, just I'm so blessed. I was able to do this for 1 year and do what we did in a year, like you said. But the biggest thing is just like the community, how they just were like, we're family and we're here for you.
Austin Parr, SWX Montana, for both of you. Obviously not the result you wanted, but incredible season. What do you want people to remember most about this team and this season?
That we did it together.
Yep. I was gonna say that.
Our hashtag is all for one, and I think we stuck to that. We cheer each other on, and I think not like every other game, like it doesn't matter who's the leading scorer, like it was all of us, and we just played as a team, and I'm so glad that Esme came on our team to help us do that.
No, Nat said it perfectly. We did it. You could see it. Like it was like anybody's game. Like Nat against Idaho State, Mara in the big moment against Montana, KJ, Dylan. Like it takes everyone, and for us, it's like no matter whose game it is, it's like let's go. Like let's go and let's try to get this win all together.
Esme, can you or did you feel any kind of different defense against you after you hit 2 early threes, and then just in general after they have made a shot? What sort of pressure did you and the whole offense feel when just trying to move the ball up the court?
A lot of body, a lot of hands. I got hit in the face many times, but different. It's just a little bit shorter. But the biggest thing was just like their body. You could just see it and sense it. They were like being a little bit more aggressive when I was coming off screens, trapping. But the biggest thing was just like their body.
For both of you, just the physicality, the length, the speed that they had, how would you kind of describe it now that you played against them?
Crazy. Like I said before, like watching them from the TV doesn't do any justice to playing on the court against them. But it was just a lot of fun. Like I wouldn't I want to go back and change it, but with the outcome, like we just did it together, and that's all we could have done.
Yeah, very athletic. You can kind of get the sense of they're faster. It's one step. It's just they can get out a little bit further. But the biggest thing, like we're always like the shorter ones out there, so it's like you can't really use that as an excuse. Just have to be smarter. A lot of ball fakes, and just read how they react to it.
For Natalie, I know it's hard to look ahead now, but you guys are now coming off a 30-win season, looking into next year. So what do you hope that this team brings into next year and building off of this season?
Yeah, I think we bring in the same energy, especially with the incoming freshmen. I think we bring them into our community and we treat them like we treated Esme, like we treated our new freshmen here this season. I think if we just do that and we stick to our all for one, that would be great. And yeah, we lose a couple of key players for us. I think a lot of us have gained knowledge and skills from Esme and from KJ and Taylor. I couldn't have done it without my team, and I think just going forward, we're going to keep doing the same thing, being a team.
Yeah, what is the biggest quality that the seniors are leaving you with?
Leadership. Esme for sure would be pace, her IQ. Like, I'll never be like Esme, but I learned from her, and she's the best leader I've ever played with. And I'll miss her a lot. Aww. But I think going into my junior year, I'll get that leadership ability, and I'll keep using my voice. And that's what Esme has taught me a lot throughout this season.
Anything else for the student athletes? Esmeralda, Natalie, thank you very much. Congratulations on a championship season.
Thank you.
Go Cats, go!
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Esmeralda.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll open up the floor for Coach Binford.
Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. Tricia, I remember back to the end of the Big Sky Conference a couple years ago, maybe ironically, the one that Esme kind of shot you out of. And you say at the end of that game that endings are hard, but journeys are amazing. I'm curious if you can.
What a great quote.
It really was. I'm curious what you're going to remember about this particular journey, with all of them involved, but maybe ironically with Esme involved too.
Well, I'm definitely going to remember how they were so selfless this entire season, and they were all bought in. And it took everybody to be all bought in. We did talk about the hashtag. It's hard to live out a hashtag when it's in a grind. It's really difficult. And I said this team at some point will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Bobcat teams of all time. I know 30 wins. We're asking how long has the Big Sky been in existence to get 30 wins, and to do that, to play that consistently for that long of a season. Just so proud of the way that we did our journey together this year. They had so much fun. They brought out the best in each other. Coach could not be prouder of that.
And what do you see out of your team during the highs of the first half, and then maybe simultaneously the lows from Ohio State in that same period, and then kind of in the way that flips going, because it's a huge run at end of the second into the third. What changed in that amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, well, they obviously jumped on us so fast. I thought we were very consistent. I shouldn't say very consistent. I thought we were more consistent with some of our transition defensive habits. And they jumped out on us immediately. They got by us and had some really, really easy looks, and it happened too fast. I should have gotten the timeout after the 6 points instead of the 9 points. And I think at that point, we got a little rattled, and then that's where it kind of blew open as far as just really sticking with the process. It's hard to be in that situation until you are with that speed that they're going up against. And I felt like, we were playing angles a little bit in the first half. I just thought, a couple more possessions, we could have gotten more of our traps and really gotten a lot more confidence with it. But when they broke that open, it was just really difficult.
Awesome part with the SWX Montana what are you going to learn from this game moving forward to try and stay competitive, later in games and potentially win a game when you get here?
Well, the number one thing that we're really searching for that fourth ring is not to play on somebody's home floor for your first round game. And, we had 30 wins. We thought we had a really strong resume, a very competitive one. I think we're going to have to probably get a win and within the top 50 in the net. I think that's something that we're going to, really have to focus on. But we had a very competitive preseason schedule. We had some in that 50 to 100. But it is difficult. That crowd gets on you. It's on somebody's home floor. At the same time, I'm really proud of how our kids handled that the first half, the way they got the crowd engaged. When that kind of happened, I'm like, this is Bobcat basketball. They handled it really well in that first half. It just really took a few minutes in that third quarter. If we could have that first few minutes back and we just trust our composure and trust our process, I think this game's a little bit tighter. We didn't have everybody playing their best game today, but we certainly had some kids show out. And I think I would like to see some WNBA coaches see a young lady for a potential kid in their training camp, because Esme really showed some really incredible stuff today.
Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports, building off that, Natalie's 10-point run coming off the bench, and that great move she had. Just what stood out most to you with her performance in that second quarter?
Well, the big thing is, we had a win between the ears. We talked about the jerseys. Like if we're focusing on the name on the other uniform, then we're not going to be us. We really needed to focus on the name on our uniform and who we are and why we're here. And Nat comes in and she was relentless. We needed a couple other kids to be putting some points on the board. You're at this level, you just don't have a lot of room for error against this caliber of opponent. And so we love that she came in. She was attack minded. We had some foul trouble with Mara. I thought that hurt us in the second quarter, but we kind of survived that. Really needed to get her going, needed to get KJ going. We didn't get KJ going like we needed to today with her experience, but Nat gave us that spark, and that was obviously very important. We just needed more pieces. They had 5 kids in double digits, and we did not, so that was a piece of it, but really proud of how she came out.
Victor Flores, 406 MT Sports. Natalie mentioned how free and fun they were playing early on. How much do you think just their mindset and their ability to play that way helped you guys build that lead early?
Yeah, they came in with a great mindset all week. We've been playing kind of with the bullseye on our back all year long, and to come in as the underdog, that was something that we haven't been able to do all season. And so I think that they came in with the right mentality, that trust of who we are, and go out there and represent the Big Sky. And I felt like we did that in the first half. I just go back to those first couple minutes, but they just came in with a great mentality. Not here for just enjoying the moment, but believing that we could give a great game and, really do some things and be attack-minded ourselves. I'm like, these are 2 very, very good defensive teams, and we had some moments where we were able to show that.
Tricia, we saw Lexi warming up before this game, but obviously does not get in. Did she get injured in some capacity in between Boise and here?
No, she did not. Yeah, that was coach's decision on just playing a tighter rotation.
And to follow up, you mentioned some foul trouble with Mara. Taylor gets a couple quick fouls also, but everybody eventually does stay in. Can you speak to what efforts you saw from them throughout this game as well?
Yeah, that's why these moments matter, right? You got to get your underclassmen seasoned and just kind of locked in, and trust that they're ready for these moments. And what I love about this young group is they've been just as part of this 30-win season as anybody else. Their impact has been tremendous, and I can tell you right now that a lot of our kids probably are not happy with the way that we played, but I'm really proud of the way we've competed all year long, and this game included. So we're going to grow, we're going to learn, and we're going to keep getting better, and they've been in this moment now, so that's going to be something that's really good for us, having that experience moving forward.
Yeah, that kind of just builds into my next question. What do you hope to take into next season with a 30-win season, building off history this year with a great group coming back?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to focus on our, like I said earlier, the preseason scheduling. I think that's really important. You know, we're going to continue to do what we can on our side of things, making sure that we're all heading in that same direction. I think the learning lesson here at this level, when you get to the stage, is you got to be so consistent. And we didn't have great moments today of consistency that we've been, particularly on the defensive end, because that does travel for you everywhere you go. But I just think there's a lot to learn from this experience of just trusting who we are and what our principles are, because there were moments today that I didn't think we trusted that enough.
Coach, this is the lowest margin of victory that the MSU has had in the NCAA tournament, and obviously a close first half. So how much of it all do you kind of take that as a sign that you guys can maybe close the gap down the road and you know, make this even closer and win one of these?
Well, I think right now everybody would tell you we feel like we're better than this end result here. I think we had a really tough third quarter that we weren't super proud of, and we had to go into a zone we would be preparing for just to kind of slow some pace down, and we kind of had to go away a little bit of who we are. And so I think we're better than that deficit, but at the same time, it's a step in that direction, and nobody can take the fact away that they won a conference and they won a conference tournament and they have 30 wins, and so that was really special.
Anything else? Go ahead.
I guess just any moments from this trip that really stand out, any memories that you're going to take with you for a while?
I think the biggest memory was when the crowd really got very upset in the first half, and our kids did that. I thought our kids really were locked in and showed what we were capable of doing. We just need to put a full game together, and that's probably the biggest thing. But this week has been really special. These kids are just unbelievable kids. Really proud of them.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And folks, again, Montana State locker